Everyone in the world has a dream, be it a dream job, a dream life, a dream where they succeed in almost anything imaginable. However, many people forget that a nightmare is also a dream. Now, on to our story.
Who I am is of no importance. What I have to say is, I'm not even sure that anyone will find this message, and even then, I'm sure whoever it is will not be of this world. As I write this, I know that our time is running out, as our world is dying. I can speak for all of us and say that, even though we don't want to die, we all know we had a full and long life, so don't feel sorry for us. Your sympathy is not what we want. I'm writing this in hope that the mistakes we made might be viewed as a guide to learn what not to do. Our kind was created in one area of our world. That much we know. Soon we started taking up more area and our population expanded. The more resources that were used, the further we expanded, reaching out to areas we were never in before. We were literally taking over our world to areas that a few would migrate to, and then it seemed the population exploded and the new areas were overcrowded. We knew that we needed to slow down or we would destroy or damage our world to the point of compromising our existence. Everyone knew or had heard our very existence was in danger if we didn't do something to limit our expansion. Many turned a blind eye and others said it was a myth and there was nothing to worry about. We had all we could ever need or want and there was nothing to fear. Then it finally happened. We were running out of room in our world. We started building on top of what was already there. We built tall structures and huge colonies to hold more of the ever-growing population. Our colonies merged to where there was no space between them anymore. There were no more rural areas as they were swallowed in the ever-growing expansion. Nobody expected what happened next. Portions of our world were destroyed and almost all of the population was gone from those areas. Those that did survive died slowly and painfully or gained newfound strength, dug in and started to rebuild, trying to reclaim the areas that were now empty. We were not sure what was happening to our world. There were still those saying we have been destroying ourselves and this was proof, while the others stood their ground and pointed out that this came from outside of our world, and even though it happened, it wasn't because of anything we did. We needed to rebuild and do it even more aggressively than before. The areas of our world where our large colonies had been destroyed were once again being rebuilt, bigger, stronger, and being put together even faster than they were originally. With the rebuilding came new problems. The population again exploded in the newly rebuilt areas and spread to limits beyond rationality, though burrowing deep down instead of staying on the surface, and still reaching to new heights to accommodate the ever-growing population. There were attacks that seemed as if they were coming from an outside source, from somewhere away from our world. Flashes of terrible heat to bombard the colonies, causing some of the population to die and others to change, adapt for survival. This is where I got the idea to write this message. I write it in hope that someone, anyone, even if it were the outsiders that were attacking our world or someone else who finds what is left of our civilization, we're destroying ourselves and would have destroyed our world even sooner if left to our own devices. I know that this seems like I have been ranting on about our plight. If someone is reading this, then it has finally happened. We are no longer here and we have died along with our world. I am finishing this in what I know is the final moments of both my life and my world's existence. I can only hope that you learn from our mistakes, protect your world, and cherish it. I have to hurry and finish this and place it where someone may possibly find it. Anyone, if that is at all possible, if there is life outside of this world. I can feel the world taking its last breath, gasping for its life. This is the only way I can describe what I feel now as the world that I know, and every being in it passes into eternity. With this last, though you have been forewarned, I bid farewell.
Philip took his last breath, and then his body relaxed. The monitor beside his bed started beeping, sending a signal to the nurse's station and alerting them that their patient had passed away. Jennifer sat silently with a single tear running down her cheek when the nurse walked in. Without turning to look, she spoke, "He's gone. I'm sorry. Is there anything I can do for you?" she said, as she appeared to want to reach out and touch her. However, she had been trained to avoid such contact unless it is sought out. "No, there isn't. Thank you, though." Pausing for a deep breath, she spoke while still looking at Philip. "We knew it would happen, we just didn't know when. He fought for years against this cancer that had invaded his body, surgery, radiation, chemo, and even alternative treatments, and still it seemed to fight back just as hard. Another tear slowly made its way down her cheek. The nurse listened to Jennifer while turning off the equipment, then reached for a tissue and handed it to her. It's finally over for him. He's at peace and the pain is gone. For that I am thankful. Jennifer stood up, picked up her belongings, and looked at the nurse. Thank you for your help over these past few weeks. I know that he was grateful too. She smiled and headed out the door. Please take care of yourself, he would want that, the nurse said to Jennifer as she was leaving. When she was gone, the nurse picked up the phone and confirmed that her patient had passed away and that the doctor needed to come to take care of the final business at hand. As the nurse left the room, she closed the door, and another day carried on.